Alright, hello guys, today we're doing a Z tips and tricks video. Let's start out with some tips. When you are going Z in mid lane, you want to have 12-18-0 mastery page just as shown. It really depends on you if you want to have your fresh blood or your feast in the ferocity tree. If you want to be more aggressive, of course, then you say fresh blood. If you want to be more passive and not so YOLO, you want to have your feast. I really recommend having the feast like from gold on. In the bronze and silver you don't need some feast. Who cares about that? Who cares about sustain? Who cares about skill? Alright, in the top lane you can play that in the top lane actually. Even as the classic mid lane build with lethality. You can build it, there's no problem in it, as long as you can play that. But I recommend doing the 0, 18, 12 mastery page just as shown for the top lane. Alright, even though I spoke about Z top, these tips will apply for a Z mid lane, and it really doesn't differ that much from the top lane Z, but on the top lane you want to probably be more aggressive, or you will have melee matchups over there, but this will apply for the mid lane. You want to farm unless 6th level, just try and poke at your W. You don't want to go all in unless they have like really low HP. First of all, you can go all in, but you need to know two things. You can out damage them and kill them. And the second thing, you have to know where the enemy jungler is. You don't want to go for all-in unless you know where the enemy jungler is until 6th level. When you have 6th level, you can outplay 1v2, probably even get a double kill if you're really good, but unless 6 you don't have a very high chance of doing this. So you really want to farm unless 6, poke, and as soon as you get 6th, you go all in, you get a kill, you recall, and then you just shit on the laner or roam to other lanes. As I talked about roaming with that, you never want to roam without your ultimate. Don't roam without your fucking ultimate. It's pointless, you will get 1 CC and you're fucked. If you miss your abilities, if you're trying to roam just that you can I don't know, kill the enemy AD carry with your WEQ combo. If you're going to miss that, or if you're gonna get exhausted or CC'd, you are fucking fucked. Don't do this. Alright? Thank you. You want to be really passive against some range matchups. You try to last hit with your Q, only sometimes you go for CS with your auto attack. And you really want to get pushed under the turret, but watch out for their, they can harass you under your turret. It's not really a good thing, but you can't outpush them, and so you may end up losing some CS just because of not getting killed, but it's okay. They will miss some CS too, and it doesn't really matter. Just last with your Q, play passive, and wait for jungler or wait for your 6th level. Alright, so this is a question a lot of people talk about. What to do with Z in the mid to late game. He shits on everybody in the early game, of course, and as you get 6 you can 1v1 everyone, but as the game goes on, there are really a lot of people who have problems with Z like from 30 minutes on. If you don't end the game early, you want to split push. Even in 20 minutes, if the game is not open mid and you just run it down mid, then you want to split push. You want to buy your Oracle lands and go for farms in the side lanes, or maybe camp in the jungle and in the enemy jungle and wait for someone. And when you take the farm, with the Oracle lands, you go through the enemy jungle and try to flank the enemy team, go for the AD carry, and just do your fucking job. Depending on the matchup you are in, you either want to push on a kill pressure in the lane, or you want to roam. like against something that you know you can always kill, and they are not even building Zonia's hourglass or something. Like, I don't know, something like Lux, maybe Oriana, Syndra, stuff like this. You can always kill them in a 1v1, unless they are building Zonias and they can really outplay you. And so you want to feed on them and just shit on them in the laning phase, make them, I don't know, 0-10, and get snowball from them. If you are against something that you may suffer against, like they can outplay you 1v1, or they can just flat out shit on you, just Lissandra, Vladimir, maybe Fizz and Kaylee, stuff like this. You want to get your 6th really soon, then you always just want to push your lane against them, push them on the turret so they need to defend this turret, and then you want to roam. Either on to the enemy jungle when they have some squishy jungler, just like Nidalee, Grace, Lee Sin. You can always kill them 1v1. And you want to roam on the sidelines. Always like care for wards. If the enemy jungler is smart, and he will try to ward around the mid lane just so you can't roam. I really recommend on the 9th level buy your Oracle Lance, even if you're not split pushing, just as I said in a previous tip. And even if you're going for the roam, try to go through area where you have some control bars, something like that. You really have to care about the vision control. And one tip I want to give you with that, try to, it's not a Z tip, it's a tip for like every mid laner. You want to track the enemy jungler. Don't be afraid, go ahead and get some wards into the enemy jungle. If you're playing something like Zedjasuo or maybe a Syndra, Talia, something that can really easily kill the enemy jungler when you find them with, I don't know, half of HP, you really want to track them down, put some wards in the enemy jungle so you always know where they are, and if you spot them with low HP, you can just push your lane so the enemy mid laner cannot help him, and you want to just go and fucking kill them, or push them out of the jungle, steal some camps, and I don't know. It's really good to do this, and you should always like communicate with your jungler to do so. Alright, next tip we have here, the very last one. It's a lot of people don't realize that actually if you hit your E as the very Z, not on his shadow but in a real champion, you bring down your W cooldown by 2 seconds. It's really important to do this. It doesn't cost you a lot of energy, and when you're running away, it really might save your life that you have your W about 2 or 4 seconds earlier. Alright, for some tips we have here the E basic, which is actually only an animation cancel for your auto attack. If you auto attack with your E in the very same second, you will throughout your auto attack in the animation of your E. Alright, another trick that I am showing you guys is something that I have never seen in any other Z tips and tricks video, so pay attention, you might find this useful. It's probably the best burst combo you can do without having your W or ultimate. You throw out your Q and you instantly flash. The Q will be thrown out from your position where you flashed from, but you will flash in the direction where when you are throwing your Q. Then you E basic your opponent, as in the same time the Q will hit him, and it's OP combo. And if you were watching my videos before this, I have done it before, and I'm show you guys again. Another cool thing you can do is, I call it the W juke. When you are running from someone, when someone chases you, let's have an example for Amumu, for example, and you know he has his Q cooldown, he has his Q up, and you have your W. You throw out your W into the side, and you do not take the W instantly. You wait for a moment, he will most of the times he will throw the Q to the shadow, and after he throw this Q to nowhere, you go for the shadow and just run away. It's pretty cool to do this, and I have juked so many skill shots using this trick. I really recommend doing it. Alright, another trick we have here is invisible shadow in ult, when you ult someone, you do your combo or something like you do something, and then you can throw out your W right before you press your R again to go back to your shadow, and you practically cancel the animation of throwing out your W. It's pretty effective when you have your championship Z skin, because the shadows are clearly invisible and it's really hard to see them, especially when using this trick. Alright, I'm gonna show you the best combo for all in lane that I'm using, and it's general combo for killing your opponent. Like, it's really different how you want to kill different enemies. Like, you go for a different combo on Ahri and you go for a different combo on Lissandra, for example. Well, you don't pick Z against Lissandra, but if you do, then this combo is practically you have two options. Either when you get to the range of using your ultimate to gap close, if yes, then you ult and you E basic right after you come out of ultimate, you W to side but not too far away, so you can carry on, and you take your W, you throw your Qs, there's a high chance of hitting at least two of them, and then you auto attack for a passive, and you instantly take your R back. There is an animation cancel when you auto attack with passive and take a shadow. The animation of the auto attack is really fast. When you can do the auto attack and instantly take the shadow. There is no animation for the auto attack if you do this. This should be enough to kill a 90% HP opponent, maybe 100. Another option for you is when you don't have the range for R, then you can't use it if they are full HP, but you WE for the combo, for the poke combo you obviously do. You take the W, you basic them, and you ultimate, but as soon as you press your R, they will probably throw out some skill shots on you, as they will see that you take the shadow, and they will miss it, of course. So you ultimate. After you come out of the ultimate, you auto attack, you Q, and you may auto attack again and take the shadow, as I told before. Alright, so the last thing we should talk about is the best combo you can do in lane for poking the enemy opponent. Obviously, there is a trick that I do. Of course, you charge W, you WQ, but there is a trick that I do, and I recommend you doing it. That you throw out your W with your E instantly, and you wait a half second, a second maybe, and you see where they are trying to dodge it. A lot of people try to juke you the way that they pretend that they are going to sidestep one way and they instantly turn another way, but this is going to tell you where they are trying to sidestep, and they will. I hit this. I hit the combo using this trick 90% of the times. It's very good, and I'm gonna show you. You throw out your W, you E instantly, you wait a half second or maybe a second, and then you throw your Q, and you clearly see where they're trying to sidestep. Alright, so that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed and found it useful. Goodbye.